Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2022-23 season. My name is Dan and it is officially deadline week. I'm getting very excited for this, guys. So we are going to be doing today another team selection video, an update on what my team is currently looking like. There'll be one more video before the end of the week showing you what is as close to my final team as possible, and then we'll obviously stream on deadline day as well. So guys, make sure you are subscribed. I know about half of you watching this video are not subscribed yet. We are trying to get to 150,000 subscribers by the end of the week. It is just not going to happen, but let's see if we can maybe do 140,000. That would be pretty cool as well. But I'm going to need your help on this one, guys, so make sure you are subscribed. And please do also like the video because it really does help out the channel so much, guys. But without further ado, let's have a look at my updated team. And I think it's looking really, really good. Okay guys, so 100 million spent. There's nothing in the bank in this team, and obviously 243rd was my world rank last season. That's going to be very difficult to beat, but can this be the team to beat that rank? I guess we'll see. So let's start off in goal. We have got Meslier. So Meslier is back in the team. Now, a few weeks ago, I put up a team selection video with Meslier in goal. I kind of said I'm still undecided on the goalkeeper position, and all of the comments said there is no way you are going to go to the Gameweek 1 deadline with Meslier in goal. And we are getting closer and closer to that actually being a reality. He's a real differential there, but I like him probably the most because he has such good fixtures. So out of all of the goalkeepers over the first, 7, 8, 9 game weeks, Meslier definitely has the best fixtures of the lot, I would say. They look good fixtures from a defensive point of view. You can see in the first 4, Southampton there, Wolves, Brighton. These are teams that typically don't score too many goals, so that's going to be a good opportunity for Meslier. Meslier is a goalkeeper who has to make a lot of saves as well, so he's very good in terms of racking up those save points. A couple of seasons ago, he was actually one of the highest scoring goalkeepers in the game. So I kind of like this one quite a lot. It's a little bit risky, but don't get me wrong, if he makes a decent amount of saves, I don't think Leeds will score too many goals in these opening fixtures either. So if he makes a couple of saves and keeps a couple of clean sheets, he could be on for bonus points as well. So there could actually be some really good scores from Meslier. He could maybe even compete with your Edisons and your Allisons. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's a bit of a risky pick. That something like that is genuinely a possibility. I would not be surprised if he averaged something like 5 points per game week over the first 5 or 6 game weeks. It's definitely something that is possible, and that's what I'm focusing on. Possibilities. Let's move on into defense. We've got Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's not going anywhere. He's obviously scored in the Community Shield, didn't he, the other day? Kind of reminding us all why he is such an essential FPL asset. I would say he's the most essential player in the whole of FPL. He is a shooter. He actually shoots a little bit more than he has done kind of in previous seasons. He is an absolute creative machine, kind of up there with De Bruyne in terms of his creative numbers, and he plays for Liverpool. The fixtures are really good. We're expecting clean sheets, and a clean sheet and an odd goal return is going to get you some serious points in FPL. And we're actually going to be doubling up with Robertson. Similar situation with Trent. I do like Robertson a lot because he is actually getting opportunities to come inside and take more shots and do quite well in very, very attacking areas of the pitch. And we're kind of seeing players like Luis Diaz actually drift out quite wide and giving Robertson that opportunity to kind of cut in a little bit, which is really nice. That's going to give him some more opportunities to, like I say, take shots, be in those dangerous areas. And being in those dangerous areas in FPL is half the battle. And when you can get a defender in those kind of positions, you really are laughing. It really is fantastic. So I am tipping Robertson to outscore a player like Luis Diaz, maybe outscore players like Darwin Nunez as well. So he is going to be that third slot, I guess, for your Liverpool player. I've been kind of confident about Robertson this whole pre-season. I think I'm going to back myself here and go for him. We have got a new player in the team, and that is Cancelo. He's not been in any of my drafts so far, but his effective ownership, or his ownership, how popular he is starting to freak me out a little bit. So maybe this is a little bit of a FOMO pick, fear of missing out on Cancelo points. I'm not super confident about this one, but like I've said in previous videos, I could be completely wrong. I just don't think Cancelo is going to have a season quite as good as last season, but everyone seems to disagree with me, so I'm happy to take the wisdom of the crowd into account. And, everyone owns him anyway, so this is a pick that can't really go wrong. I know I do want a Manchester City defender in my team, and I've kind of found myself in a situation where I've got every draft I make seems to have spare money, so why not make an upgrade and go for Cancelo in here instead? But I have to say, guys, if I do make changes and I find that I need to free up a little bit of money, try and find a little bit of money to upgrade other areas of my team, I would say that Cancelo would probably be one of the first players I'd sacrifice in this team and just go down to a Diaz maybe, or maybe even a Kyle Walker, but I'm not quite convinced by Kyle Walker, but certainly Ruben Diaz. I'm thinking about moving Cancelo down to him if I need to free up 1 million to use elsewhere. And we're going to finish off the defence with Zinchenko, so no Chelsea defenders. I'm just not really fully convinced by any of the Chelsea defenders, particularly, you know, Chilwell. Is he going to be fully fit to play every game at the beginning of the season? We're kind of thinking that Reece James is possibly going to play at right centre-back just because of the lack of other options there. We've even seen Chelsea linked with some more right wing-backs with maybe the potential to move James into that centre-back position more permanently, which is really kind of a shame because it could ruin Reece James as an FPL asset. So lots of question marks over Chelsea. So we are going to go with Zinchenko instead. I have spoken about before that I really do like Zinchenko. I did have Trippier in here before, but I always kind of said if I start with Trippier and maybe move to Zinchenko if Zinchenko looks good. But from the friendlies I've seen, Zinchenko has looked very good. Arsenal are keeping clean sheets. Zinchenko is obviously going to be the far more attacking of the two fullbacks, whilst Ben White is playing at right back, I guess. Even when Tomiyasu plays at right back, Zinchenko is going to be the guy pushing forward at left back. And then I really do think that once Tierney is available and fit, Zinchenko is just going to slot into the left centre mid position. So he's going to be, in very attacking positions. And I've seen the positioning of Xhaka in some of the pre-season friendlies. And if Zinchenko is getting in those kind of positions, as a slightly better attacking player, you would say, a slightly more technical player, a slightly more, creative in those little areas kind of player, then I think Zinchenko can absolutely thrive. So, yeah, I think Zinchenko could be onto a really good thing at 5 million. Going into midfield, we've got Mo Salah, of course. We're not going to waste too much time talking about him because he's just the FPL GOAT. I'm going to captain him pretty much every game week, and he's going to get me loads of points. One of the best players for underlying stats last season, even when everyone said he was rubbish. He's just an absolute FPL machine, and you have to be a very brave person to go without him. I am not that brave person. We've got Mason Mount in here as well, so he's a new addition. I'm kind of flicking between different 8 million midfielders at the moment. I do want to cover that 8 million price point, and I wonder if that is blinding me a little bit. But I think Mason Mount is an okay pick. He's done okay in pre-season. He obviously has done very well last season as well. Perhaps gone under the radar a little bit. And I don't want to completely neglect Chelsea. It's more that I'm just not fully convinced by their defence. I think they're probably going to still be able to score a couple of goals. And I think Mason Mount is very nailed on. He's going to be on some set pieces or a lot of set pieces. And he's always just so consistent, and you know, he's just a player who can just do the business, randomly score you a 20-pointer out of nowhere. I think he can do well again, and hopefully some of the other attacking players coming in around him, you know, Sterling could make Mount an even better player as well. So we're going to go with Mount for now, but again, another player who I'm not 100% stuck on. He's an option, but he's the option I'm currently on. I got Martinelli next at 6 million. I did have Saka for a little while before, but I just feel like for 2 million less, Martinelli is just such good value for money. Maybe he hasn't got such good kind of stats in the preseason as Saka, but I've kind of been watching Martinelli's positioning, and it's just been so good, and he's been really unlucky not to get more goals and assists in preseason. So I think he can be a really, really good value for 6 million. I don't think anyone's really going to argue with that. He's obviously insane value for 6 million, and I do think he is going to be that main left winger. I think he should play 80-90% of games, and if he gets off to a good start, he can even nail himself on in that Arsenal team. So pretty confident about Martinelli. I'm not too worried about rotation or anything like that. I think he is going to score a lot of points in these opening fixtures. You know, we've got games like Leicester, Bournemouth, Fulham in there. Real opportunities for some points there. And we've got Neto to finish off the midfield. Struggling to let go of him as well. He's just the start. He's just the start of this Wolves team. Decent pre-season, decent fixtures to start off the season as well. Leeds and Fulham in the opening two. You can do a lot worse than that, can't you? So hopefully that will be a really good start for Neto. And yeah, hopefully he can kind of really reproduce what everyone thought he would be a couple of seasons ago. Everyone kind of thought this player is just going on to bigger and better things. This player is just insane. I think he's going to recapture that this season. Still very young, still loads of potential. Let's see if he can be that superstar that we all think he can be. Up front, we've got Harry Kane still, and I know a lot of you guys were kind of saying, I can't believe, Dan, you're going for Haaland over Kane. Well, how about now? I mean, I'm sure a few of you guys have made the switch over the last 48 hours from Haaland to Kane. Welcome to the gang, guys. On the FPL Mate channel, we try and stay ahead of the curve, and hopefully that is what we will continue to do throughout the season. But yeah, I do think Harry Kane is a better pick. It's far safer. It's kind of obvious that Haaland is probably going to take a little while to adapt to the Premier League, I think, especially in this new Manchester City system where he's not going to get as much of the ball and he's going to have to rely on kind of those one-touch finishes, which he can do, but it's not really his speciality, I guess. But he will adapt. Haaland will adapt, and we definitely will have Haaland in our fantasy team at some point in the season. But Kane, with these opening fixtures, with the trust that we already have in him, with the fact he's on penalties, with the insane pre-season that he's had, everything is pointing towards Kane. Crazy stats for the second half of last season. Under Conte, he is an absolute machine. He's had a full pre-season this year, which is something that doesn't happen too often for Kane. Everything is looking good for Kane right now. So even as an Arsenal fan, I have to say Harry Kane is probably going to be on to an absolute crazy start. And this Southampton game could mod a few people who don't have him in their fantasy team. So yeah, a Spurs attacker is almost a must at this point. Kane is the one I'm going for, maybe just because of that penalty edge, and he's slightly cheaper than Son as well. And finishing off the team, we have got Gabriel Jesus, another Arsenal attacker. But you know, like the fact that he's just scoring so many goals and getting assists and doing so much in pre-season is just, it's hard to ignore. A hat-trick the other day, again. It's just crazy. He's just doing so well for Arsenal, and it's so obvious that he's going to come into this new season with such confidence, and he's going to be so integral to the way Arsenal play, and I think that's a really important factor. He is going to be a real focal point in this team. He's going to get a lot of the ball. He's going to get a lot of ball in the right areas. He's going to be a good poacher as well. I think he is really going to revitalise his career, and it's going to be a good one. And you can kind of understand why almost 70% of FPL players are going for Jesus at 8 million. It really is crazy ownership. I have never seen a player in Game Week 1 owned by this many players. You know, there's a reason why so many people have Jesus in their team, and I am not going to bet against this wave of Jesus owners. No way, Jose. Going on to the bench, guys, no changes from the last video. We've got Olsen, just because I feel like he is the most likely 4 million goalkeeper to usurp the main goalkeeper without there being an injury. Nico Williams, very obviously the best 4 million defender to go for, expected to start every single game, playing fairly advanced, playing in a fairly rigid Nottingham Forest defence that hopefully can do the business in this upcoming season. We've got Andreas Pereira, a 4.5 million midfielder who is actually an attacking midfielder, and he's going to be on set pieces as well, which is really interesting. We've seen him on set pieces in pre-season. That's huge for a 4.5 million midfielder. That really is. We've got Plange as well, just because I don't really know what 4.5 million forward to go for. Plange played a few games in pre-season for Palace, did quite well, so you know that's enough for me, but I'm really hoping that with my team I will never have to rely on the third slot in my team. Never gonna have to rely on that one at all. So there we go, guys. That is the team. Let's stick a captain's armband on Salah, because he's Salah. Let's stick the vice captain on Kane. I'm considering captaining Kane for Game Week 1 as a bit of a differential, but it doesn't seem like a really sensible thing to do. If I was feeling crazy on the day, though, you never know, it could happen. But there we go, guys. That is going to be my team for Game Week 1 as things currently stand. Maybe a few changes before the deadline, but make sure you are subscribed with notifications on if you want to get updated on where my mind is going in terms of that Game Week 1 team. Can we beat last season's rank? Probably not, but let's see how close we can get to it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you did enjoy this video, please do leave a like. Please do subscribe as well. As I keep saying, I'll stop saying it now. There'll be another video up today. We're going to do 2 videos a day this week until I give up and stop doing 2 videos a day. But yeah, going to be so much content going into this final game week, although I hope it's really, really going to help you out and get you set up for the new season. We're going to try and help you to win your mini leagues, get really high ranks, whatever your targets are. We're going to try and help you out. Make sure you leave a comment as well if you've got any questions that you want to talk about in FPL. I'll try and answer as many as I can, but we've also got a pretty decent community here, and everyone kind of gets involved in each other's comments, so it's all good in the hood. But there we go, guys. Thank you so much for watching. See you on the video later today, and I'll see you later, mates. Bye bye.